38% of people will leave a website if they find the layout unattractive or difficult to navigate. So for e-commerce brands, this means choosing the right Shopify theme can directly impact your bottom line. And today we're going to compare two giants, Impulse versus Prestige. These are at the top of the clothing store category inside of the Shopify theme store. They've dominated the conversation for a very, very long time. And to be honest, are they the best? I don't know. You are gonna make that decision for me today. But there are reviews. They're adding reviews to the Shopify theme store, so we can actually compare some of the reviews as well. But I really wanna give you a good understanding, and we have our handy dandy paper board back here where we're going to literally compare some of the most important things that I believe every clothing store theme should have. Now let's talk about one of the first things that we should talk about, right? And that's how much does this cost? How much does each of these themes actually cost you? The great thing about this is that they're both at the exact same price for $380. So we got a tie for the pricing, which is great. It's just good. Something I don't have here on the board is actually something that, I mean, it matters, right? But at the end of the day, it's not gonna be super important because both of these themes are also pretty up to date, right? So one thing to look into, if you'll see here on the actual Shopify theme store, right underneath that View Demo Store button, you'll see last updated August 6th, and they're on version 7.5.1. versus Prestige was last updated August 23rd, version 10.2.0. Today is August 26th, so Prestige right now is the most up to date, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, same with the version, right? This is version 10, so it seems like it would be a better, theme overall. That doesn't necessarily mean that either. It just means that they've added more updates, right, to Prestige, or maybe the cadence, right, at the rate of which they add updates, it's maybe a little bit more fast-paced than it is for Impulse, for example. I don't know exactly when they were launched because Shopify doesn't give us that information on when the theme was actually launched on the theme store. But with the theme version, you can kind of get an idea for how long they've been on the theme store, right? You'll see like some of the earlier, themes, or the themes that are just brand new, they'll have version 1.0 or 1.2 or something like that. So this gives us a good indication that both of these are tried and true, and now they're just adding some additional features and maybe fixing a couple bugs here and there. Okay, so I've installed the trial versions of both of these websites on our Bit Branding store, so you can actually dive a little bit deeper, right? And that's what I recommend for any sort of theme that you're looking to potentially purchase. Get the trial, install it, and look at some of the things that we're gonna look at today. So one of the first things that I like to look at is how many sections do I have at my disposal, right, for me to create my website. And that's something that I will go here, right here on the homepage, scroll all the way down, look into the Add Section button, and then you'll have here a number, sections 25. Sometimes you have to scroll and click on View More so you can see all of them. But at a glance, we have 25 sections available for Impulse. And then if we jump to Prestige and we scroll down here, click Add Section, we have 28. So Prestige, just a little bit of an edge over Impulse. So we have 28. And again, it may not be that's really, if we were to stop right here, that's not a good enough reason really to move over to Prestige versus Impulse, or choose Prestige over Impulse. But again, it's a consideration, right? It's something to take into consideration. Something else that I would also want you to look into is the type of sections that you have in here, right? It's not just the fact that we have these sections available. It's like, for example, for Impulse here, we have a map section, right? So if you have a physical store location and you want to showcase that with a map on your homepage or your collection page or whatever, your about page, then they have a map section. Versus Prestige, let's see if they have a map section. I don't know that they have a map section. Yeah, they don't have a map section. So you see, like, those little details are also going to matter depending on what exactly it is that you're looking for and the type of business that you have. So at the end of the day, you still have to install these and check them out for yourself. But I'm going to give you, again, some of the most important things for me. Okay, next up we have our mobile hero. This is something that some themes Dawn don't have available, and it's bad. Now, when we talk about mobile hero, we're talking about that hero section on the homepage. It's that big banner image. Sometimes it's a slideshow. So for Prestige here, you see we have a slideshow. So I like to also look into that image slide and then see we have image for desktop and then we have image for mobile. So that's what I like to see. I like to see that we have the ability to have one for desktop and one for mobile and have it be completely different so that we can actually manipulate that section a little bit better. So Prestige has it, and Impulse, let's go check up here. We have our hero, yep, desktop and mobile. So they both have that. So far, things are looking pretty good, guys. All right, footer section. This is something that we talked about, you know, all the sections that are available within sort of like the template, right? So the bulk of the page. Now, Shopify has done this recently where they categorize the header and the footer and their own separate sort of little islands. And the good thing about it is that if you change something here on the footer group, it changes for all of your pages across your website. Now, something that I like to do as well is click on the add section for the footer group specifically, because that will give me an idea of some things that I can have throughout my whole website. Something that I like to do is do that right there. This last one, text column with images, right? This will give us the ability to do trust badges right there within the footer, and I don't have to recreate it on every single page, and I can have those showcased all throughout my website. So Impulse definitely gets a thumbs up for me on that, although it only gives us 6 available sections, right? I wish there was maybe a little bit more that we could do there with the footer group, but the fact that we have that, that's one of the main things that I look out for. So Impulse is good. Prestige, let's go check that out. Footer group. Okay, so with Prestige, it looks like we have everything available here for us. So we can do all 28 sections. We can add them to the footer group. So I think, yeah, Prestige to me, it takes the point here for the footer group. Footer, and I want to put a check mark because they do have it, but it's not exactly the one that we want. Now, Swatches. Swatches is very important for clothing stores, especially for customers to visually see what's available in terms of color, in terms of patterns, right? So this is something that I like to also just look into and see if it's available. So if we go here to the settings for Prestige, it looks like color swatch. Yep, it's available. Now, this configuration is going to be deprecated, so that's good. They already put in some of that information in here because the new way of doing the category meta fields in the backend of Shopify is going to essentially take over this. Now, this configuration was pretty easy, but the new one is going to be even easier. So the fact that they have these color swatches here available, that's awesome. Let's see for Impulse. If we go to the product tiles under settings, we have enable color swatches. We can do round or square. So yeah, they both have color swatches, which is great. So got that one. Now, there are 2 types of sort of swatches in the back end when we talk about color technically. Now, this is just an important feature that you want to have in the back end. Now, something else that Shopify has called color swatches is now when you go into your normal colors tab under settings, you'll see, actually it's not swatches, it's schemes. Okay, my bad. Okay, it's color schemes. Now, color schemes is a new way for you to add more color, have more granular control over some of your sections. This is the new way of doing it, and Prestige have taken upon actually adding this feature versus Impulse. If we go here to colors, you'll see this is sort of the old way where you have all the color bubbles and it's just like everything is listed right there. Is there a right or wrong? I'm not even gonna put that on the board, but to me, yeah, Prestige is a little bit more up to date in terms of what Shopify considers best practices because they have the color schemes available to the customer. Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, please click that like button and subscribe to our channel. We release 2 new videos every single week. Now, the next thing that we're going to look into is the cart. So to me, the perfect checkout process is product page to cart drawer and from cart drawer to the checkout page. So in between there, right, is that cart drawer. And like, how much can we do with the bare bones cart drawer that it's within each of these themes? Let's go check that out. Sometimes, depending on the theme, you'll have some settings underneath theme settings and you'll see cart just like this. This is Prestige. And as we have some options for the drawer, message, and page, we want the drawer, so that's great. It looks like for the empty cart, we can actually have a link to take them directly to some collection products, which is great. It also looks like we have free shipping message available within the actual cart. Let me go ahead and save that. And just curious, your cart is empty. Oh, okay, so yeah, we don't have any live products, so that's why there's no link, but you have the opportunity to do that. Let me see, does this work? these dummy products. I don't think they do. Yeah, it's not gonna work. But we have the ability to do the free shipping message, which is again, one of those best practice things that we want to have right there within the cart. So this, right now, this looks pretty good. Let's check out Prestige in terms of settings that we have available for the drawer. It looks like we can enable the order notes and we can enable additional checkout buttons, which we don't necessarily want them on the cart page. We want them on the checkout page. And then the terms and condition box, yeah. So far, yeah, I think Prestige has taken the cake on the cart, and that's because the fact that it gives us the option to do the free shipping message, it's something that, yeah, Impulse doesn't do at all. So for the cart, we're gonna do Prestige. Man, it sounds like Prestige is just taking over. Yeah, so far all greens. I don't know, guys. A lot of people say that Impulse is sort of the king, right, of clothing stores. But to me, Prestige just sounds like it's gonna be the better option so far. Now, we have a couple more things here. So recently viewed products. This is a section that it should go on, really, it could go on your collection page, it can go on your product page. And this is just something that follows you around as you're viewing some of the products in your store. And it just makes shopping just a little bit easier, right? Especially if you have hundreds and hundreds of products in your clothing store. You want the customer to be able to quickly sort of reference back some of the products that they've looked at before so that they can shop just a little bit easier, a little bit better for them. This is something that I recommend for every single clothing store. I mean, I guess not every single, but I mean, as you start to increase your products, you definitely want to include something like this. Sure, there are gonna be apps out there that can handle something like this, but if I can have it built in within the theme, like, let's do that. If I can do it within the theme, then let's go ahead and do that. Let's use it right there within the theme. So if we go here to Impulse and we click on, for example, the home page and we do add section, it's usually gonna be, let me see, recent, no results found. But let me go to the product page directly, default product, and then in here, okay, yeah. So, interesting. So they do have a recently viewed section, but it looks like it's just default for, yeah, it looks like it's just default for the actual product page. Let me see if the collection page has it, because if the collection page doesn't, then you get -1. Let's see, okay, there. No, eesh. Okay, so Impulse does have it, but it's only available on the product page where, I don't know. I think this section is something that it could go on different places on your website. So let me check Prestige. If we go here, we are on the home page. Do recent. There we go. Yeah, see? This is what I like. This is what I like about the themes that I usually recommend. They are flexible enough to give us the option to do these things, right? Once you start limiting what you can do within the theme, I get an ick, right? Is that a thing? Yeah, an ick. So I'm gonna say Prestige definitely wins this round for recently viewed products. Again, Impulse does have the feature, but it's not the best. It's not the best. It's only available within the product page. So I think we have a clear winner, guys. I mean, I don't know about you, but this looks a lot more greener. This is more Christmas than this. So I'm gonna say Prestige is probably going to be my recommendation if you're looking between these two. Obviously, there's hundreds of other themes out there, and I think there's other themes that are maybe even a little bit better than these two that I have back here. But something else that I want to show you is that look and feel, right? That's something that you can't necessarily take away from these themes. So let me just show you with the demo store, right? This is what Impulse looks like. And if I were to give you my opinion, right, maybe on Impulse, it's been there, done that, right? It's one of those where, I don't know, maybe it's one of those things where I've seen it so much and I've seen so many, it's more so like boutiques, right, use Impulse that I instantly recognize it and it looks okay. It really looks okay. Now, comparing it to Prestige, okay, the demo, they automatically put some video in here, so it makes it a little bit more lively. If we scroll down, a little bit more minimalistic. Yeah, I mean, to me, Prestige, it's really more for, and this is kind of alluding to that, right, within this demo store. It's more for the higher end type of product. Maybe not a whole lot of, different products. Obviously, we can have a lot of products because we have the recently viewed and we have a lot of sections and we can do a lot of different things with it. But yeah, it looks more of a, maybe I have, 10, 20 products available and kind of like this, like maybe some leather goods or something like that. And that's where it exudes to me, a little bit of luxury to it, and that's one of the reasons why I really like Prestige. And obviously, like, I have a whole chart back there to back up my claims on some of the things that I look into for some of these themes. So yeah, to me, Prestige even looks a little bit better. It looks a little bit more modern, still minimalistic. I think they're both a little bit more minimalistic, but yeah, I think that's the breakdown right there. Prestige, I think, wins this against Impulse today. Now, if you enjoyed this video and this breakdown between two themes, let me know which two you want me to do next, and we'll break them down, we'll talk about them. Now, let me know in the comments down below, which one do you actually prefer? Is it Prestige? Is it Impulse? I think I did that backwards, Prestige, Impulse. And if you want to know my latest recommended themes that I think are actually worth it, then you should check out this video here next.